I'm Elaine Sims. I'm on the campus of St. Catherine's College for the Spotlight on St. Catherine's. We are now in the Emily Humley Library in the trustees' room, beautiful room. This is our first session for this semester, 2013, and I'm excited to be here learning lots of new things. The man I have sitting beside me is Dr. Okofor. He's been here for 11 years, and I cannot believe it, but this is the first time I've ever met you. I'm going to introduce, I'm Elaine Sims,
Okofor.
And I have heard so much about you. I have heard so much about you.
Thank you.
You've been to St. Catherine's you've been here for 11 years.
11 years.
What did you do before that?
Before now, I did research for University of Louisville. I did research at the Eye Center.
Okay. You researched at the Eye Center?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's your background? What's your doctor in?
I'm a doctor of I have a PhD in human physiology from Wayne State University, Detroit, Michigan. But before then, I had a bachelor's and a master's in biology.
In biology.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously not born in the United States.
I didn't know you figured that one out.
It's your accent. It's your accent. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I may repeat some of the things that you say just so our audience can catch some of this.
That's okay.
You came, well, okay, you are from?
I'm from Nigeria.
Nigeria, okay. You came to America to go to school?
Yes, I came to the U.S. to do a PhD.
Okay.
And after a PhD, I started my postdoc at U of L.
You went to U of L?
Yes.
And they enticed you. It's interesting because I just talked to someone yesterday that's going to U of L for the Eye Center for a big operation soon.
Oh, wonderful.
She's a huge supporter of St. Catherine's. Was it hard for you to come to the United States for a PhD? I mean, that takes money. and how did you do that?
Thank you. Americans don't know how generous they are.
Americans,
they don't know how generous they are, and they don't know really how much people love them and how much people love to come to their country. I came to the U.S. by accident. Somebody went to the United States Agency for International Development or something, I think something like that, to their office there, and just saw on their board a poster from a college here looking for graduate students, and I didn't know you could actually apply from Nigeria and get admission and a scholarship.
So they saw it on a board they were in a room, saw it on a board, and you applied for a scholarship?
Yeah, so somebody just got me the form, and I filled it. They said take GRE and take TOEFL. I said, what are those? They say, qualifying exams, and I took them and got this letter saying, oh, we will give you admission, oh, we gave you a scholarship, and I was, that was easy. That was easy, and that's how I came.
When you were in Nigeria, is the school system there? You have primary school and then secondary school, and then you went to college?
Yes, I did primary school there, first at Calabar, then later in my village, Ogidi. Then I did secondary school at Enugu, then did high school at Onitsha. Then I did my first university, my bachelor's degree at University of Ilorin. Then did my master's at Ilorin and did my PhD here.
The education system there, do you think, as you compare it to, of course you're in a college level now, but is the education system similar to the United States, or is it much harder? Is there a way to compare that? Yes,
they are similar, but the testing system is different.
The testing system is different.
Completely different. Here, students do mostly multiple choice questions. There, they do mostly essay questions.
Which takes a lot more.
Which takes a lot more. And here you do multiple choice test virtually every couple of weeks or months. There you do the exam at the end of the semester.
Oh.
So it's very brutal in a way.
Okay, I thought you were going to say every week. Okay.
No, at the end of the semester. So whatever you must have studied through the semester, the test at the end. and which means you have to read things over, keep reading things over because you know the exam is coming at the end.
Yeah.
So it's very brutal, but in a way it's beneficial. The advantage here is that you cover a lot of grounds here because you test and you move on, you test and you move on. There you don't want to go too far because the student may not be able to catch up that much to be tested properly.
Okay. Well, you obviously were a quite good student.
I hope so.
Well, do you feel like that your peers were very motivated? I mean, were they dedicated to education?
Back there, very much. It's very competitive, really. And one should expect it, given the fact that university openings are very limited. So it's virtually you are either in or out. So there's a lot of competition to get in because of it. Yeah, it is very, very competitive just by the nature of the limitation. There's a very, 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 very few openings, so you have to struggle.
Do the most children have the opportunity to go to like primary school? Do most of the young people have the opportunities? Okay, the schools, and I hate to sound, I don't mean to, I just don't know anything about it. And I
we have enough primary schools, is virtually free. Though one could, we can complain that they are not well funded, but they are there. They don't have the basics. And that is why when I go to some schools here and you see all pencils and papers and erasers all over the floor, people are throwing them away, you're like, you know, because those are assets, really. Okay. And they are not as readily available as they should.
Yeah. So they take care of what they have. They don't waste anything.
They do. They certainly
Which we would all be better off.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep saying that an average American should go outside this country to have a feel of how blessed the country is.
We are.
The average American doesn't know that. And I wish they should just do that and see that this country is really, really blessed.
Wow. Wow. This is a wonderful interview. Wonderful. Your first degree in college was, again, in
biology.
The second?
Biology, physiology now.
Physiology.
Physiology.
Physiology. And then?
Medical physiology.
Medical physiology. And then after that, you were no longer, that's when you became a PhD.
Yeah, I had my PhD in medical physiology.
Okay. So you left after your PhD and you went to U of L.
Then I went to U of L to do postdoc.
You worked in the eye.
Yeah. I did research on the eye. I didn't work on the eye. I did
research on the eye.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit confused, but how is that related to physiology?
Yeah, what people don't know is that many of these institutions or institutes, really, like I was the Eye Institute, we do research on the physiology of the eye, how the eye works. Okay. What could be? Let me put it this way: if you know how the eye works, you can really explain what happens when it doesn't work.
Okay.
So if somebody has something like cataract,
a bicycle.
Exactly. If somebody has something like cataract, you can say, this could be because this is not working right. If you can prevent it before then you have a better solution than surgery or something like that. Yeah. So I was working with the lens of the eye. Yeah. We did research on what causes some of the cells not to work right, with the hope that we could find a solution to something like cataract.
Did you apply to U of L or did they recruit you for the Eye Institute?
What normally happens is that when you're doing your PhD, you go to conferences, they have recruiting grants in conferences, just put up your name and they just match it.
Right, okay. So you were at U of L until 11 years ago?
Until 11 years ago, yeah.
How in the world did we acquire you at St. Catherine's?
Serendipity in a way, because I taught for a year at KSU, Kentucky State University.
Kentucky State, yes. In Georgetown.
No, Frankfurt.
I'm sorry, yes.
And I left that place, went back to U of L, and the VPAA was looking for somebody to teach physiology and called Kentucky State University, and they said, "Go look for this guy."
Because we've had other people here from Kentucky State University. So, okay.
So they said, "Go look for this guy." So Dr. Arnold called me up, and I said, "I don't think I want to do it, but let me do it for just one semester," because he said there was a need. And I came one semester. I said, "Can you help us do it for another semester?" And after that second semester, I started liking it.
Did you?
I started liking it, so I stayed.
What'd you like about it?
The ambience in a way, the environment. There's something about small liberal arts colleges that is infectious in a way. You come, you talk to people, or different people all the time, and you see all these young kids who have all the makings of greatness, but they're not there yet, and you maybe I could do this, maybe just interacting with them and getting them to, I guess, become the best they could. It's more like dealing with flesh and blood. So you deal with human beings every day, you interact with them every day. Unlike research where many days you just stare at a blank wall.
Sure.
It becomes very depressing. So, but after teaching for a couple of months here, talking to young people, interacting with other faculty, I see a completely different phase of education, because I did my PhD in a big college, did my postdoc in a big college. What there's a phase about small colleges that is more appealing, more friendly, more humanistic, so to
like
speak.
small towns.
Like small towns, yeah.
Compared to a city.
I can talk to every faculty I want to talk to here. I don't think you have that type of access or freedom in big colleges, because many times they're in research and everybody's in his own little tunnel and digging deeper, so to speak. But small colleges, liberal art colleges, I can talk to the VPA if I want to, and he is ready to talk to me. I can go there and argue with him over anything, philosophy, religion, and if he's not too sure, he'll call me back somewhere and say, "Remember this thing we talked about? I think you got it wrong." And we start the discussion again. It's more healthy. It's healthier. Let me just put it that way.
Right. Well, and I think as we all grow older, it's relationships and feeling connected, and not feeling like you're just a piece of sand on
exactly.
You feel part of it.
You cease to be a number in a way. Become part of a system that really appreciates your existence and your contribution to that system.
I just can't believe I've never met you before. The book, your other interest, we have here a book. Elma?
Elma, yeah.
This Will Heal the World. And it's got the author's name at the bottom, and you wrote it, but it's not your name.
Yeah.
What happened? Did you have a dream?
Well, it's one of those things where you believe a particular group should have a voice. In this context, this lady should have a voice, even though she might not be alive, even though she exists, by the way, but not me. But she should have a voice. I believe that some of us who could tell her story should tell her story. So that's what I did.
So it's about women.
It's about women. It's about women.
Okay.
It's about women. Definitely about women.
Is this your first book?
No, this is not my first book, but this is my first book in this country.
It says her resolve is to fight for her honor, and it's challenged when she is cornered alone in the home of, again, there's going to be names in here that I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
This Will Heal the World. Huh. Very interesting. So it's your first book?
It's my first book,
How long did it take you to write this book?
About 2 years.
Yeah.
Though I did research on it for about 5 years.
How long, well, and that seems to be the case. I just had an author to visit, and it takes so long. How long has it been published?
4 or 5 months now.
Okay.
3 months.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm in a book club here, and I think we need to read your book. I'm not a reader. Is it on tape?
You like it.
262 pages. We could divide it into 2 sections.
I pray that when you start reading it, you might want to read the whole thing.
Okay, okay. And I'll probably have to take some of these names. This is, okay, Joseph, I'll probably call him Joe.
Josephic.
Yeah, Josephic. Well, it'd be interesting, interesting. Did you always think you'd also write? I mean, you're amazing. You do everything.
I hope so, but I don't. I never believe I will write. I happen to be one of those who can't sit down in a place for a long time. But my understanding and my experience with this is that if something is really, if you really mean to do something, if something is up there in your mind and you believe it should be told, I believe you'll find time to do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever is your passion, if you're passionate enough for it, if you don't mind, if you're passionate enough about something, you create time for it.
And as an author, did this book evolve as you wrote it, or did you have pretty much in mind what it was going to be all along?
It evolved as I wrote it. I had my ideas about the book initially, but as I wrote it, it became obvious that it should be completely out of my hand and left to the characters and to the events that drive them. In the end, I wouldn't convince myself that I wrote it, by the way, but I did. Eventually,
you couldn't believe you really did this.
No. And if you read it, you wouldn't believe I did either. That's the point. You wouldn't believe I did.
Okay. What country does this take place in?
Bosnia. It's actually.
Okay. I had an exchange student from Bosnia.
Yeah, it is actually set on the Civil War.
Okay, and she. Interesting.
Because if the story be told, if the truth be told, I'm fascinated about why good people do bad things. Why do good people do bad things? I've always wondered why some of the great wars of the world took place in the center of Europe, the civilized world. Why couldn't they resolve the problems? Why get into this very, very destructive conflict? So this is part of it. Why did they treat the women the way they did during the war? Why did they abuse the women? What was the role of the women in the war? It was a man's war. Where were women abused so blatantly? I just couldn't get it through my head. Yeah. Even though I wasn't there, but I felt their pain.
That's because man was created first and then woman took that rib.
That could be.
I'm teasing.
It could as well be, but the women were brutalized in ways that shouldn't be. Yeah. And I'm sort of concerned that the band played on. The war didn't seem to pay much attention to it. Yeah.
So much is about power. So much is about power.
I sometimes but I sometimes believe that the world wants to look away, hoping the problem will go away. The world doesn't like to solve problems, really. The leaders want to look away, hoping that they will
look away. Okay.
And hope that the problem will go.
Yeah.
Look at what is going on in Washington now.
Yeah. We're in the 4th day of the shutdown. They're being taken.
People were elected to solve problems. But everybody's at home now hoping that something will happen and this problem will solve itself. Yeah. Of course it's not going to solve itself. People have to sit down and solve the problem.
That's right.
And talk to each other. So, yes, I'm very concerned about this because I was motivated by a sentence made by one of the women who said that this man has wounded me in a way that I will never heal. That's a very powerful thing to say.
Well, like the young girl in India on the bus.
There we go. And
of course, she never healed. She died.
Well, the point is that I can assure you that that was not the first woman in India to be abused. That was not the first. That was not the second. And the system there knew it, but they kept quiet. The band just played on as if nothing happened. I guess the world should speak up more about this. Human trafficking, for example, is very rampant all over the world. And most of these women are brought to the Western world to be abused in perpetuity. It doesn't just look fair. And I believe that small colleges like this, Christian schools should be involved in this type of thing. They should be the voice of this type of people.
Yes, yes. We need to, hopefully our students will leave this place with some thought about this.
Exactly.
And not just ignore it.
Exactly.
Not ignore it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Take a stand. You know, have some principle.
I praise her.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
You're smart. Your research. You said you can't sit still long, so I don't know how you did research. So I really love the fact that you might be a little ADD like me. You teach. You write. I mean, you come from an incredible country. You're an achiever. You're humble. I'd like to get to know you better. Come back and see us. This has been absolutely wonderful.
Thanks.
And your name, again, Dr. Okofor, I've heard it and I cannot believe this is the first time I've met you. It has truly been a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.